marks 50 years since the District 6 area was declared a white group area. 60,000 people were ripped from their homes and moved all over the Cape Flats. Many people still live with the hope of one day going back to District 6, but that hope seems to be fading with each passing day. Let's get some more on this story now. Deputy Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform, Mcebisi Skwatsha, is in the Newsday studio. Mcebisi, thanks for coming in this afternoon. Many people living with the hope of going back to District 6, but in reality, very few people have been able to do so.
That's true, but there are people that have been able to go back to District 6, and we appreciate that. The pace has been relatively slow, and there are many factors related to that. But you see, one of the things that I would like to say, probably we should really appreciate the resilience of the people of District 6, who after 50 years still had the hope that they would one day get back to District 6. Now that they are getting back now. You would recall that phase 1 and phase 2 has been completed. We are now on phase 3. And so the bulldozers are back. The process of work is on.
How many people have been able to move back?
Close to 2,000 people have been able to move back as of now. There's just more than 105 claims that need to be validated. And after that, those people also do move back. There is something that is actually heartening about this process. That's why I would want to say we would have wanted to have it quicker than it is at the moment. Because some of the people are old, some of them are not making it in good time to go back there because of being of old age and them dying and so forth, But the process of making sure that the actual beneficiaries of District 6 is something that we are busy with, and it's happening.
As you say, the people are, it happened 50 years ago, so it makes sense that it's now the children of the people who were forcibly removed. It's them that will be tasked with carrying on with what their parents would have wanted.
Yes, it is so, but interestingly, I come from Gugulethu. There is an old man, I think Mr. Nzabela, who was one of the first beneficiaries of District 6 then. He actually moved out of Gugulethu as an old man. I think he's in his 80s now. He moved out of Gugulethu to go back, to come back to District 6. That's an indication of how people were yearning for the good old days, where they would be able to be nearer their places of work. But in essence, really, most of the people now would be descendants of those people that used to be in District 6.
So on the eve of commemorating 50 years since those forced removals, perhaps you can offer some advice to people who are still involved in the land claims process.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think that there has to be an appreciation of the decades and decades and of the colonial past and apartheid in particular. I think we should have no illusions that this process is going to be a smooth, quick process. But the point of the matter is the will of the government to do the right thing is there. And I think that one of the things that I would like to offer our people is claimants in particular. It also helps to facilitate the process when claimants themselves are really united about what needs to happen. Because sometimes the wheel turns so slow because there are conflicts among claimants themselves. So it does help that people have a leadership that is respected, that does the right thing, that communicates properly, because there are good stories about restitution and claimants in other areas.
Can government at this stage give an indication as to just how long it will take for these land claims to be processed?
If you speak about the ones related to District 6, we are confident that in the next financial year we would have completed this particular process. In relation to general claims, I must confess to you that the challenge is too huge. This is why President Zuma reopened this particular process, up to 2019. And one cannot certainly say that we would not reopen it again, because what we want is to create a lasting peace in this country. Time might not be the factor that determines these things, but we'd like to process and make sure that a lasting legacy is built as soon as possible.
I'm sure there are many people who are hoping that will indeed be the case. The Deputy Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform, Mcebisi Skwatsha, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
To other news now, and it's been 6 days since 3 workers have been trapped underground at Lily Mine in Mpumalanga without food or water. Priti Nkambule, Solomon Nerende and Yvonne Nisi were in the lamp room when it collapsed on Friday. Their families have not left the mine in the hope that they will be brought back to the surface. About 5,000 tons of rock and debris have been removed, but rescue workers still haven't been able to reach them.
We need prayer more than anything. Maybe even before the sauna starts, the Honorable President will have a moment of silence just to remember and give courage to those crews and whoever participate in this operation.
Chaos has erupted at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban.
Workers protesting against outsourcing have clashed with police at the Howard College campus. When the protesters forced their way onto that campus, officers warned them to disperse. They refused and police fired stun grenades.
The race for the White House is hotting up. Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have won their respective primaries in the state of New Hampshire.
Sanders beat his Democrat rival Hillary Clinton and says his victory shows Americans want change. For the Republicans, it was an easy win for Donald Trump. The billionaire businessman says under his leadership, the country will start winning again.
In New Hampshire, the Republican race, the Democratic race, obviously a lot of excitement right there. The polls apparently...
All right, after the break, we'll take you over to the sports desk.
With the local elections just around the corner, politicians will be making huge promises to cut through the hype and the noise of election 2016.
If we want to occupy this building, no one can stop us.
And for all the tough questions.
People say there was a hidden hand, that you are a man who is controlled by other forces. Is that a fact?
Unfortunately, I'm unable to, because look, deployments are not handled by myself.
Catch the Justice Factor with Justice Malala every Monday at 9:30.